William Ruto's evil plan against Edwin Sifuna backfires, landing him in trouble. Welcome to Kenya Lens Media, where we give you news updates as they break, and kindly, if you are new here, consider subscribing. Now, a political rally linked to dissenting Orange Democratic Movement figures ended abruptly on Sunday after tear gas was fired into a crowd, triggering a panic and raising fresh concerns about political tensions and policing of opposition gatherings. The incident occurred on February 15th during a Linda Wananchi rally in Kitengela, and just as the Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna was introducing leaders attending that event. Thick smoke from the tear gas canister spread through the crowd, forcing supporters to flee and briefly halting the meeting. Although the source of the tear gas has not been officially confirmed, the disruption has intensified the debate over the handling of opposition activities and the deepening internal contest within ODM. Witness videos circulating online showed confusion and rapid movement among attendees as the gas spread through the gathering. Sifuna was heard attempting to calm supporters even as the situation deteriorated. Security officers and members of the public were later seen in a tense confrontation near the venue, and media coverage of the event was also interrupted as journalists scrambled for their safety. Despite the dramatic interruption, organizers maintained that the rally had initially drawn large numbers of supporters, suggesting a strong grassroots interest in the leaders' outreach efforts. The Kitengela incident unfolded against the backdrop of rising friction within ODM, one of Kenya's most influential political parties. Sifuna has recently been at the center of the internal power struggle following his removal as ODM Secretary General by the party's National Executive Committee. Party leadership led by Oburu Odinga has insisted the move was disciplinary rather than an expulsion from the party. However, Sifuna and his allies have continued political mobilization across the country, framing their activities as part of the broader effort to defend democratic space and protect citizens' interests. The Linda Wananchi tour, loosely translated as Protect the Citizens, has become a visible platform for this messaging. Political observers say that the tear gas episode risks reinforcing perceptions among supporters that the faction is facing resistance from state authorities, a narrative that could further energize the group's base. Shortly after the rally was disrupted, Sifuna took to social media to condemn the incident and allege a pattern of harassment. He claimed that earlier in the day, organizers' sound equipment had been damaged before the tear gas was fired at what he described as a peaceful assembly. According to the senator, the group would continue its political activities despite the setbacks. He thanked the Kitengela residents for attending in large numbers and framed the disruption as an attempt to silence dissent. The allegations have not been independently verified, and authorities had not issued a detailed public explanation at the time of reporting. The Kitengela gathering brought together several prominent leaders aligned with the dissenting wing of ODM. Among those present was Embakasi East MP Babu Wino, a vocal political figure known for his strong grassroots following. The event was also featured Siaya James Orengo, a senior lawyer and a long-term opposition strategist. The joint appearance underscored the political weight behind the Linda Wananchi initiative and signaled that the movement extends beyond a single individual's dispute with the party leadership. Analysts note that the high-profile figures appear together outside formal party structures, and it often indicates deeper strategic positioning within Kenya's fluid political landscape. The Kitengela incident in the latest in series of confrontation reported at opposition-linked gatherings in recent weeks. Opposition leaders allied to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua have also complained of police interference at the events, although each case has evolved and has involved different local dynamics. Human rights observers say repeated disruptions, whether justified by security concerns or not, risk creating a perception of shrinking political space, and security agencies, on the other hand, often argue that crowd control measures are necessary when gatherings exceed permitted limits or pose safety risks. Without an official incident report, the precise circumstances that led to tear gas use in Kitengela remain unclear. Beyond the immediate drama, the confrontation carries implications for the ongoing ODM leadership dispute. Sifuna is currently engaging in a court battle challenging the removal or his removal as the Secretary General. The High Court has issued interim orders stopping the formal gazettement of his ouster until the case is heard. The legal process has created an unusual situation in which the party leadership recognizes Busia woman representative Catherine Omanyo as the interim security general, while Sifuna maintains that the court order protects his position. Political tensions at public rallies could influence how both camps mobilize supporters ahead of the court's final determination. Observers warn that if confrontations continue, they may deepen factional mistrust within ODM and complicate reconciliation efforts. Despite the disruption, the large turnout in Kitengela highlighted the continued drawing power of the leaders involved. Supporters had earlier attended a church service at St. Peter's Okeju Mnyak SK before proceeding to the rally, indicating organized grassroots mobilization. Political analysts say that the crowd size remains one of the most important signals in Kenyan politics, and even brief disruptions do not necessarily weaken a movement if public enthusiasm remains visible. In this case, organizers quickly emphasized the turnout in their messaging after the rally ended, suggesting the intent to frame the day as a success despite the chaos. Kenya has a long and complex history of tension between political mobilization and public order enforcement. While the constitution guarantees freedom of assembly, police retain authority to regulate public gatherings for safety reasons. The balance between these two principles frequently becomes contested during politically charged periods. The Kitengela episode reflects this ongoing friction. Without clear official communication explaining the decision to deploy tear gas, competing narratives are likely to persist, and transparency in such incidents often plays a key role in maintaining public trust. The disruption of the Linda Wananchi rally is significant for several reasons that extend beyond a single afternoon of chaos. First, it highlights the fragile state of unity within ODM at a time when the party is navigating leadership tensions. Public confrontations risk hardening factional positions and making internal reconciliation more difficult. Second, the incident raises broader questions about the management of political gatherings in Kenya. Repeated clashes between police and opposition supporters, whether justified or not, can shape public perceptions of democratic space. Third, the strong turnout in Kitengela also suggests that Sifuna and his allies retain meaningful grassroots support, and if sustained, this backing could influence future negotiations within ODM and the wider opposition landscape. And finally, the unresolved court case over the Secretary General position means the political temperature is unlikely to cool quickly. Each public confrontation add pressure to an already delicate situation, and for now the Linda Wananchi movement appears determined to continue its outreach despite disruptions, and whether the Kitengela incident becomes a turning point or merely another episode in Kenya's familiar cycle of political contestation will depend on what happens next, and in the courts within ODM's leadership and on the country's increasingly charged political stage. That is all for today from Kenya Lens Media, where we give you news updates as they break. Kindly continue subscribing as a way of motivating us and also helping this channel grow as we bring you content from Kenya and beyond.